The sun will soon be setting on spring training. Just over a week to go until opening day. Decisions still have to be made. It's an American League East matchup. Jays, Orioles, next. Another beautiful day for baseball here in Dunedin, and fans at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium could very well be seeing the Blue Jays opening day lineup as they take on the Baltimore Orioles. Hi everybody, I'm Barry Davis and welcome to Blue Jays Baseball on Sportsnet. John Gibbons said this morning that in his mind, this is the best offense he's ever had an opportunity to manage. 1 through 9, the Blue Jays are solid. But the big key, of course, the core, the middle of the Blue Jays lineup. Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Bautista have been staples in the lineup, but now you add a guy like Josh Donaldson. Playing at Rogers Center this year, he could very well have a career year. All three will be in the Blue Jays lineup today, and for more on this afternoon's action, let's send it upstairs to the two gentlemen calling all the game, Buck Martinez and Pat Tadler.
Well, Barry, it really doesn't make any difference how many home runs you hit. When you're talking about winning championships, it all gets down to starting pitching. That's the big question for the Blue Jays is how well will this rotation perform this season?
Well, if spring training is any indication, I think they're going to be just fine. They have been nothing short of spectacular here in spring. The starters, as you take a look at some of the numbers of the 6 players that really are going to be penciled in during the season. They're throwing strikes, they're pitching to contact, they're keeping the ball in the ballpark, they're limiting the home runs. And when you look at some of the stats overall as a team, they lead American League teams in team ERA at just .266 and WHIP. They're only averaging about 1 walk and hit per inning, which is the best in the American League.
Today we'll see Mark Buehrle, and no one has been more reliable over the course of his 14 seasons than Mark Buehrle.
You know, we talk about Buehrle and we talk about limiting oppositions and things like that. Well, Mark Buehrle is the perfect example of that. He has done it for so many years. And for him, it doesn't matter where he pitches, when he pitches, home, road, it doesn't matter. He's going to go out and he's going to do his thing. He's going to pound the strike zone. He's going to throw strikes. He's going to change speeds. He's going to give you innings, and he's going to give his team a chance to win the ball game that day. Momentum is very important, I think, and with these starters, and especially Mark Buehrle, I think it's important for them to keep this momentum heading into the season.
The offense is going to get a boost from some youth. Kevin Pillar will open up in left. Travis will probably be the second baseman, and Dalton Pompey will be in center. The Blue Jays could have 6 rookies in New York when they start the season. Day in Florida. It is 18 degrees here in Dunedin, here at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium. The Baltimore Orioles are in town, and today they are managed by Ron Johnson. Johnson had 3 seasons in the major leagues with the Kansas City Royals. Here's the lineup. It is Raimel, Cabrera, Paredes. Paredes is the third baseman. Delman Young, Alvarez, and Steve Clevenger. Then Jason Nix, Chris Parmelee, and Paul Yanis. Burley is working quickly as always, and Nolan Raimel pulls it way foul.
Well, you better be careful with Nolan Raimel. He's in that leadoff spot. Hit a home run on the first pitch of the game the other day. Look, Showalter and the Orioles, they like to have some power in that leadoff spot.
Ground ball. It's 0-2 quickly on Nolan Raimel. Last year, of course, the leadoff man was Nick Markakis. He's left to free agency and is with the Atlanta Braves now. So the Orioles don't have a clear-cut leadoff man in mind just yet. Some of the questions yet to be answered for the Orioles. Ball in the dirt. Raimel is originally an Oriole. He spent some time with the Blue Jays last season. He's back in Baltimore now. Another foul deep down the left side.
He had a couple of big hits for the Blue Jays, if you remember that. The big home run in Houston. He also had a game-winning double when the Blue Jays beat the Angels out in Anaheim. Spent some time on the disabled list, and then here he is in Baltimore.
Yeah, he is back with the Orioles, and he has had an injury-plagued career. He had a serious ankle injury, tore his Achilles tendon, and that knocked him out of commission. Strike 3 call. Barely gets the first out on strikes. Let's take a look at the starting pitching. It's brought to you by Scott's Weed Be Gone. This spring, knock out weeds out of your park with Scott's Weed Be Gone. Kills weeds, not lawns.
This is Mark Burley's 4th appearance of the spring. He last pitched in a minor league game last time out. He's up to 78 pitches. So that will probably take him somewhere around the 6th, 7th innings this afternoon. There are his numbers in his 3 games in big league competition this spring.
As we mentioned, Burley will be entering his 15th season, so he knows exactly how long it takes him to get ready. He's done this a few times in his career. This is Everett Cabrera, who is in center field today. Cabrera, a switch hitter, batting right-handed against Burley. A little bit extra on that fastball from Burley.
You know, you were talking about Mark Burley. He's done this before, and he knows how to get himself ready. And you're right. Work on a few things early in camp. Get your time in. Maybe you work on your changeup a little bit more, your curveball. But right now, he's starting to get his sights set on opening day. He's going to throw everything he can to get these guys out this afternoon.
Mark Burley has made 461 consecutive starts in his career and has never spent a day on the disabled list. I take a lot of pride in that. He comes to work every day, and he hasn't missed a start. Another good pitch from Burley. A couple of strikeouts to start the game. Well, let's take a look at the defense. We mentioned this could be the opening day outfield for the Blue Jays. It's Pilar, Pompey, and Bautista from left to right. Donaldson's at third. Reyes and Travis up the middle. Encarnacion's at first base. And Russell Martin behind the plate for Mark Burley.
Just 16 errors this spring by the Blue Jays. They've made a lot of great defensive plays. And Dalton Pompey has been showing it off in center field. He made a great catch in yesterday's ball game. If you remember that one, Buck, when he went into the gap and took away extra bases from Anderson Simmons. I think he's been everything and more for the Blue Jays this spring out in the outfield.
I agree with you. I think he's done everything to impress the coaching staff and secure his spot on this ball club. This is Jimmy Paredes. He is a switch hitter. There's a bullet down the left side. That's a fair ball. It'll go all the way to the wall, and Paredes is headed for second. He'll get there standing up with 2 outs. The 2-out double, his 5th double of the spring.
He has been hitting the ball this spring. Comes into this game at 372. He leads the team in RBIs with 11. Turns on that looked like a cutter that stayed in the middle of the plate by Mark Burley, and that for a right-handed hitter. Loving that as he shoots it down the left field line for extra bases.
2 outs. Delman Young takes a curveball for a strike. Delman Young had a terrific season a year ago, and He's just one of those guys you have a tendency to overlook, but he can wear out some left-handed pitching.
Yeah, and especially Mark Burley. He's got great career numbers against Burley. So they bring him over to Dunedin this afternoon. You were talking about the Orioles. They have a split squad game, so they bring Delvin Young over here to face the left-hander, Mark Burley.
Broken bat dribbler to short. Reyes waits on it, takes his time, and Burley's out of it. 2-out double, nothing more for the Orioles. Good start for Mark Burley and the Jays. Reyes will lead things off when we come back to Florida. John Gibbons anxious to get this regular season started. I think Gibbons has had enough spring training just like his players. Well, let's take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays, and this is what could be the opening day lineup. Reyes, Martin, Bautista, top three in the order. Edwin Encarnacion back at first base for the second consecutive day. Donaldson's at third. Navarro's the DH. Dalton Pompey, Kevin Pillar, and Devin Travis. Three young players in the bottom third of the order.
And they will face Urbano Jimenez this afternoon. Jimenez had a rough start to his spring. His first 4 outings were not very good, but his last 2 have been pretty good. He's won each of his last 2 outings. His ERA has been 2. Over 9 innings, he's only given up 2 earned runs. He leads the club in grapefruit strikeouts with 15 this spring.
And he has only walked 1 batter in his last 3 outings. That's a big turnaround for Jimenez. Reyes is in against him and takes the first pitch strike. They have tried to challenge Reyes this spring, pitching him ahead, and he has had a great spring. He is really swinging the bat well here at the end of spring training.
He knows his job. Get on base. He gets on base, I think it's a lock that he's going to score 100 runs this season.
Well, we heard Barry Davis talk about John Gibbons, the manager, expressing his thoughts about this offense. He said, this is the best offensive lineup I've ever had. And you can see it up and down the order. And Reyes, top of the order, should have one of those seasons where he can score 100 runs. Reyes had a good season a year ago, including 30 stolen bases. And he's just one of those guys that can really ignite an offense. This is popped up on the left side. Paredes is there, makes the catch, 1 down. Take a look at the rest of the defense for the Orioles. In the outfit, it's Raimel, Cabrera, and Alvarez from left to right. Paredes and Giannis on the left side, Nixon, Parmley on the right side, and Steve Clevenger in a battle to make this roster behind the plate.
Normally in the regular season, we will see Adam Jones just about every day in center field. But this afternoon, we're going to see Everett Cabrera. He's mostly a shortstop second baseman. They're looking at using him as a super utility type of role. See if he can play some outfield. He's got some speed. There's not a lot of team speed on this Baltimore Orioles team. So he makes the team. It's probably going to be in a super utility role.
And the Orioles, of course, have lost a lot of power with the departure of Nelson Cruz and Nick Markakis. This is Russell Martin, the catcher. 220 for the spring. He has a home run that came right here in Dunedin. Turn around quickly and ask the umpire about whether or not that was a cold strike. Spoiled a pretty good pitch on that slider away.
pitchers like this, Ubaldo Jimenez, who can be scatter arm, shoot the ball out of the strike zone, they're so tough to hit against because you're just not sure if he's bringing his A game or not. He's going to throw a lot of pitches. At bats can be very lengthy with him, and you just don't know what type of guy you're going to get that day. The guy who can paint with his stuff is outstanding, or is he going to be wild?
2-2 pitch to Martin. Upstairs, a full count. Jimenez is 31 years old. Signed last February as a free agent. Bautista will be next. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball four. For Russell Martin, he is perfectly suited to hitting this two spot. He's patient, selective. He'll work the pitcher for the walks and set up the meat of the order. Bautista, Encarnacion, and Donaldson.
That's what you're looking for right there. You've got your speed and Reyes. You've got your on-base guy and can handle the bat. And Martin setting the table for the big boys coming up.
And this is one of the big boys indeed. Jose Bautista, 5 homers so far this spring. First pitch breaking ball after ball 4 to Martin. Blue Jays saw Jimenez last year 3 different times. He made 2 starts and 1 relief appearance. Actually made 3 starts and 1 relief appearance against them. He really pitched fairly well against the Blue Jays. He had a 1-2 record. He was matched up against Drew Hutchison in 2 of those starts. And Hutchison had a terrific season against the Orioles.
Yeah, that's a loss if you're pitching Drew Hutchison against the Orioles.
And then drive to left field. That's going to get down and go up against the wall. Rimo plays it on one hop. Martin headed for third. Bautista with a big turn, and he'll slide back into first safely. As Jose Bautista hammered that ball to the base of the wall in left.
That ball was hit so hard he just couldn't advance an extra base. Watch him uncoil on that pitch. Not much on that off-speed pitch. And Bautista with that classic leg kick times it up and hits it so hard. Nice play out there by Reinhold to hold him to a single.
This is going to be a very interesting aspect for the Blue Jays offensively. First inning against starters. When you have Reyes, Martin, Bautista, Encarnacion, you got a chance to score early and often.
That'll take the pressure off, won't it? The starting pitcher?
And starting pitchers, you have seen this throughout your career as a player and a broadcaster, that starting pitchers generally take 15, 18, 20 pitches to get into the rhythm of their game. And especially a guy like Jimenez, who has a tendency to get wild. If you can get him before he finds that strike zone, you can really create problems for him.
And on the other side, the Blue Jays starters, if they can have a 2, 3, 4 run lead early in the ball game, take the pressure off. You don't have to be so fine and so perfect.
Well, it looks like the Blue Jays might have 2 rookies in their 5-man rotation. I think that's one thing that's been emphasized throughout the course of the spring training camp, and that's why the walks are down for the Blue Jays from their pitchers. Hey, this team's going to score a lot of runs. Don't get yourself in trouble by walking the opponents. Give yourself a chance. 0-2 to Encarnacion. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Jimenez lost a ball game to Mark Buehrle and the Blue Jays early in April in Baltimore. Got hit hard in that out. Well, there's a good breaking ball, and Encarnacion strikes out. Looks like he was fooled on that pitch.
It's going to take some time for Edwin to get that timing down. He's missed so much time with that bat. That's a good overhand curveball right there by Jimenez. Totally fooling Edwin Encarnacion. That's just, you have to see the ball right there. Edwin saw a fastball out of his hand and went down swinging.
2 outs. Josh Donaldson, the third baseman. He goes after a first pitch, and it's a breaking ball. Donaldson, for his career, has always been a run producer. In his time spent with Oakland, he has a career .311 batting average with runners in scoring position.
Smart hitter. When you watch him take his batting practice, he's working on things. Take a look at this at bat. First pitch was a big curveball, and he had a big swing at it. Swung right through it. Then Jimenez tried to throw a fastball by him, and he had a little bit shorter swing. Now let's watch his two-strike approach.
That's 3 outs. Clevenger threw the ball down to first. Couple of strikeouts, and Jimenez pitches out of a first and third jam. We're scoreless after one. Beautiful day in Florida. That is the Sunshine Skyway just south of Tampa.
Blue Jays Spring Training on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Scott's Coated Grass Seed. This spring, build up your outfield, even if you miss a day of watering, with Scott's Coated Grass Seed.
Welcome back to Florida, and it's a beautiful day to be out on the boat or to be at the ballpark. Blue Jays wrapping up spring training. Mark Burley works quickly and misses with the first pitch. This is Dario Alvarez, who is playing in right field this afternoon. These are the types of hitters that can give Burley problems in a spring training game. He doesn't know them, and they don't know that they're being set up.
Yeah, you just see the ball, and you just react to it. Burley doesn't have an idea how he wants to get him out. He doesn't know what he's trying to do to him. See it, react, base hit.
The catcher, number 45.
And Alvarez is saying, what's the big deal about Burley? He doesn't throw very hard. Well, when you see him 2 or 3 at-bats, he can pick you apart. Steve Clevenger, the catcher, now 29 years old. Last year was his first opening day roster assignment with the Orioles. He went up and down between the Major Leagues and AAA 4 different times last year.
He's got an excellent chance of making this team because of the bad news that the Orioles received over the last few days.
Matt Wieters, their all-star Gold Glove catcher, is still dealing with repercussions from Tommy John surgery, and he hasn't played lately. There's another shot right over the back of Burley into center. Clevenger's aboard, back-to-back singles to start the second.
And it looks like Wieters is going to begin the season on the disabled list, opening up a spot for Clevenger. And if he keeps doing this, he'll be in there a lot more. Stays in there on that left-handed pitcher, breaking ball down and away.
Burley has to duck out of the way on that comeback right over the top of his back. This is Jason Nix. Nix has spent some time with the Blue Jays. He's trying to hook on here with the Orioles. We saw Kelly Johnson yesterday, and Kelly Johnson, too, has bounced around much like Jason Nix.
In the American League East, we were talking about Kelly Johnson playing for every team in the American League East. Jason Nix has played for everyone in the American League East. He bounces around, but these types of players, they don't make mistakes. They help you win ball games when they're called upon. He's just been a solid pro, Jason.
Jason's now 32 years old. He was a former first-round pick of the Colorado Rockies. Now, it's not an accident. You are a first-round athlete, and chances are you're going to hang around for a while. 3-0. Burley gets a strike in there with the fastball.
You know, and chances are, if you hang around and you do the little things to help your ball club win games, you're going to end up on winning teams. That's another thing that he has done. He has ended up on winning teams.
Another strike. It's now a full count. Burley, as he always does, working very quickly. There's a drive to left field. Pilar is right there. Hit sharply, but right at the left fielder. One down. Mark Burley, we mentioned his durability. He just doesn't miss a start. He's never missed a start in his professional career in the major leagues. 14 seasons with 10 or more wins, 30 or more starts, and 200 or more innings. That's the longest such streak in the majors.
You know, we talked about that in the opening, that he just goes out and he does his thing. He doesn't care where it is, when it is, time of day, who he's facing. On the road, at home, he just goes out and does his thing. He throws strikes. He changes speeds. He'll improvise out there when he needs to. He gets a feel for pitching. If a guy's sitting on a certain pitch, last year he changed things up, started throwing more fastballs, and had a big year.
Got off to a great start. He was the quickest to 10 wins in his career. He had 10 wins in his first 12 starts. Won his 10th game on June 1st. Beat Kansas City 4-0. Bouncing ball foul. Only Mark Burley and Roger Clemens are the only Jays to win 10 in their first 12 starts. Clemens won 12 of his first 13 starts in '97. That's a very small and elite class.
Think about all the great pitchers that we have had a chance to watch over the years.
Mark had a 6-game winning streak and, unfortunately, a 6-game losing streak. After June 1st, after he beat the Royals, he ended up 3-9 the rest of the way.
If you remember some of those games, though, the bullpen blew a couple of them. He left with the leads.
That's a mild foul.
He won 13 games last year, easily. As well as he pitched, and I thought consistently from the beginning of the season to the end, easily 16, 17 wins last year he could have put in.
His ERA was .339 for the season. This is popped down the left side. This is trouble if it's fair, but it's a foul ball. Mark Burley made the All-Star team. He did not get in that game. But when you take his innings and R.A. Dickey's innings, it's the first time since 1986 and 1987 that the Blue Jays have had a pair of 200-inning pitchers in back-to-back seasons. I mean, that's what you want, and nobody's talking much about Dickey and Burley because they're so consistent and reliable.
I don't want to say you tend to forget about them, but you just pencil them in. You put them 1 and 2 in your rotation. Say, okay, those spots are taken care of. All right, now we got to find a few more innings here from our starters. And that's got to feel good for John Gibbons and Pete Walker and the group. These two veterans are going to take care of 400 innings by themselves.
2-2 pitch on the ground, gloved by Encarnacion. He's only going to be able to go to the bag, but he saved a run for Mark Burley. Edwin is playing for just the 3rd time in the field at first base, and right there he saves extra bases for Burley.
I asked John Gibbons today around the batting cage, do you have Edwin in because you want to see him go back-to-back days? And he said, partly. Says he feels good. He wants to play in the field. He feels like he's a better ball player when he is engaged more on the defensive end. That time shows no rust. Right, they're taking away extra bases from Parmalee.
The number 9 hitter is Paul Yanis, playing shortstop today. Burley gets ahead of him. Yanis is 32 years old. He's from Texas, played collegiate baseball at Rice University. And he's behind Burley, 0-2.
Boy, he had him way out in front of that changeup. Throw it again.
He's going to reach back for a little extra here.
He might go softer after that swing.
You were right. He goes softer and lifts it into center. Mark Burley gives up back-to-back singles to start the inning, but he leaves a pair. We're scoreless, headed to the bottom of the second.
Fans, if you've never been to spring training, what an opportunity we have for you. Just purchase a bag of Old Dutch potato chips and then enter your eligible UPC code at BlueJays.com/Old Dutch contest. One lucky fan will win a trip to 2016 Blue Jays spring training right here in Dunedin. Prize includes tickets, airfare, and hotel. For full contest rules, go to BlueJays.com. Buck, Tabby, what a terrific prize that would be.
It is a great prize, Barry, and you can vouch for that. You've been down here all spring long, and there's nothing like spending time at the ballpark during spring training. See a lot of Canadian friends down here during the course of the spring schedule. They have a great time. This is Deanna Navarro, who is DHing today. Blue Jays have yet to set their 25-man roster. That has to be finalized by 3 p.m. on Sunday, April 5th, as there will be an opening day game on Sunday night. So Major League rosters have to be set by 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Talk around the ballpark here as the ball hit, and nice play by Parmalee. Is they're going to set the roster on Tuesday.
That sounds like it. There's one out. Nice play by Parmalee. Let's check in with Barry Davis.
And Tabby, Buck, you're right. John Gibbons confirming today that Tuesday will in fact be the day that they set the roster, and it is nervous time for a number of players, including the fact that there's a very good chance that the Jays will open the season with 6 rookies. Dalton Pompey, Devin Travis, Daniel Norris, Aaron Sanchez, and of course the 2 20-year-old pitchers Miguel Castro and Roberto Osuna. And you throw in a guy like Kevin Pillar, who's played bits of 2 seasons. This could be an awfully young team. However, John Gibbons says when you look at the mixture they have of guys like Bautista, Donaldson, Martin, there's a lot of veterans as well. So it's a great mix going into the season. So they're not all that concerned with the amount of youth that they could have on opening day.
That's a very good point, Barry. And when you think about it, there are a few teams right now in baseball that are hamstrung because they let their team get too old. We look at the Phillies and the Yankees. Those are 2 that really come to top of mind. And you have to have an influx of youth.
Hamstrung in terms of guys are on big league big contracts, and they can't move them and bring some of their young guys in, and so you're hamstrung that way. You've seen it over the years. I love when teams have the mixture of the veterans and the young kids with the enthusiasm and the excitement, and they come to the ballpark and they come to play every single day, and they push the veterans through those long 6 months of playing. You have to have the right mix, and I think the Blue Jays have that right mix.
Yeah, you're not bringing up young kids just to average out younger on your roster. You bring up guys that can play. And I think it's true, too, with not only the position players like Devin Travis and Dalton Pompey, but pitching staff. You have a chance to have Daniel Norris in the rotation, Alex Sanchez, Drew Hutchison. And what you see right there is what you want. That constant competition among the players, pushing each other. You know, how many times can you reflect back to the Atlanta Braves when you'd see three pitchers on the bench, and it was Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox, and all they were doing was talking baseball.
They all talked their way to the Hall of Fame, didn't they?
They sure did. It's not a bad thing to have youth. They kind of push each other. Of course, they're going to hang out with each other. They know each other coming through the minors. And they're Blue Jays. I think that's a key to this whole thing.
You know, that's the biggest thing. For years, the Blue Jays, they just didn't get those young players coming up through their system. You know, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, waves of them like that grew up in the farm system and grew up as Blue Jays. We're starting to see a change in that now, and I think that's very important.
Well, certainly the success of Marcus Stroman and Sanchez last year has allowed the management, the front office, to say, okay, well, if that worked for these guys, what's the next wave going to be? Devin Travis has captured the imagination of John Gibbons here in the spring. Swing a comebacker, an easy inning for Jimenez. It looks like he might have found a key to his success, throwing strikes.
Soccer fans, the TFC season starts tonight on Sportsnet. Michael Bradley and TFC take on Javier Morales and Real Salt Lake. Tonight on Sportsnet, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific.
Lots going on in the sports world now. A lot of soccer action starting up. This ball is foul down the right side off the bat of Nolan Reimold. He's leading off. He struck out against Mark Burley in the first. This is a split squad game. We mentioned the Orioles are also playing a game in Sarasota. That bounces off the glove of Reyes. He recovers just in time. Fortunately, that ball stayed right near his feet. He stayed with it, and he's got the arm strength to recover.
Stayed down on him. It looked like it hit the lip and stayed down on him and handcuffed him just a little bit. And the reactions, he finds the ball. He doesn't have to step. He's got to throw that flat-footed. And plenty of time to get Reimel. Nice play. He's making an effort. He knows he was not very good last year defensively. So he is making a conscious effort to be a better defender. I was watching him the other day work with Luis Rivera, working on pop-ups, going out on the pop-ups.
That's a fair ball inside the line down the left side after Cabrera is headed for second. And he'll get there. Cabrera now 1 for 2 with a 1-out double here in the third. That's his third double of the spring.
He's got some speed now also, so you got to be cognizant of that. This ball, another off-speed pitch down and into a right-hander, and if you can time that up and get that barrel of the bat out in front, you're going to be rewarded with hits like this right down the line for extra bases.
Jimmy Paredes, the third baseman, had a double to left his first time up. Goes after that first pitch. Paredes is in a battle with Jonathan Scope. Scope has played second base the last 2 years for the Orioles, and Paredes has garnered some attention because of the way he swings the bat. He's batting third in this lineup here this afternoon.
He's got a very simple swing. Short. He's aggressive. And he is getting off to a great start.
The Orioles have a lot of decisions to make. We mentioned they lost Nelson Cruz and Nick Markakis to free agency. They have a bunch of outfielders competing. This is trouble. This ball's going to split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall. Cabrera jogging around third. He's going to score. Paredes, with his second double of the afternoon, has driven home the first run of the game. That's his 12th RBI of the spring. He continues to have a red-hot spring.
Breaks a tie for third in the Grapefruit League for RBIs. Now watch this. Very simple swing. Not a lot of movement. Uses his hands extremely well. The lower half is not leaking. It's staying right in there. Uses his hands, and he's got his second double. Back-to-back doubles, and the Orioles take the lead.
This is Delman Young. Delman Young has more at-bats against Mark Burley than any pitcher that he's faced. He's got 50 ABs against Burley and 21 hits, a .420 average.
You look at those guys who are starting, you look a couple days ahead and say, okay, Burley's pitching on Delman Young. Okay, I got to be ready for him, because there's just something about pitchers. You just feel comfortable. You see the ball.
Hits this ball hard. Bautista to his right makes a tremendous catch. Oh, what an effort by Bautista. And Pat, you mentioned it. We have seen outstanding defense from everybody on the Blue Jays this spring.
We happen to highlight Dalton Pompey in the opening because of the great catch he made yesterday. Looks very similar to this catch right here from Bautista. I thought he was up for a Gold Glove last year, the way he played defense. Gets a good jump on the ball, corrals it, and then rolls to take some of the sting out of hitting the ground. Great play by Bautista again in right field.
Well, he's a terrific athlete and made a very determined effort to save Burley another run. 1-0 Baltimore. Gariel Alvarez, the right fielder. Two outs. Fly ball into center. Easy play for Pompey. He's there. The Orioles of the pair of doubles have taken a 1-0 lead against Mark Burley. Beautiful Sunday afternoon down here in Clearwater, Dunedin.
Fans, the Honda opening night is sold out, but there is a way to get tickets to Rogers Center that night. Just post a photo or video showing your Blue Jay spirit along with the hashtag WinTBJOpener to Twitter or Instagram. One lucky fan will win a pair of tickets for Monday, April 13th against the Rays. It is Honda opening night. You'll get tickets, airfare, and hotel. For full contest rules, visit bluejays.com/home opener.
Just around the corner, home opener. Blue Jays will open up their season in New York on April 6th, Monday afternoon against the Yankees. Devin Travis is probably thinking about what it might be to start his big league career in New York at Yankee Stadium. You think he's allowed himself to think of that yet?
I don't think so. You can't be thinking about that. You've got a job right now. You got to stay in the moment. And in the moment right now, you're facing a big league pitcher. Ubaldo Jimenez is going to be pitching for the Orioles this year. So he's getting ready. He's starting to use everything he can to get you out. And these are the at-bats, I think, that the Blue Jays really have to lock in on the young players right here when you're facing big league pitchers. Early in the spring, you might face a guy who's going to be in AAA or a swing guy or a bullpen guy. This is when you really start to lock in and see if they're ready to play at the big league level.
Ubaldo Jimenez was a terrific pitcher for the Rockies. In fact, he was an all-star 2010. That's a base hit for Devin Travis. He could put Jimenez in his book, albeit it's spring training.
Yeah, but, he's a big leaguer, and he's using all of his pitches. He's using a curveball, the sinker. He splits it a little bit, so he's not up there just pumping fastballs in there. That was a pretty good at-bat right there. He stayed back on that breaking ball. That'll open up some eyes right there, won't it?
Well, it will, too, because you've got three young hitters in the bottom of the order in Pompey, Pilar, and Travis, and you'd like a little production out of the bottom third to turn your lineup over. Back to the top of the order. Jose Reyes popped out his first time up. But this is such a key to stretching the lineup. Get 7, 8, 9, get one of those guys get on base, and then you get back to the top of the order. Reyes bunts at it and bunts right through it for a strike.
You know what? They don't have to be all-stars, but they have to give you something, right? At the bottom of that order. I mean, you can't have a black hole down there, the last three hitters, and I don't think they will. I think they're too talented, all three of the guys, Pompey, Pilar, and Travis. Ryan Goen, you can throw them in there when he plays. They're talented enough that but they have to give you something.
They have hit in their minor league career, but there has never been a wider gap between the majors and the minor leagues than there is right now. You don't see too many Ubaldo Jimenez's in Double-A. And that's where Travis played last year. Pretty concerned about Travis. He's 0 for 2 in steal attempts this spring. He's never been a real burner on the bases.
But he's got a nice aggressive lead over there. I like that. He's jumping up out there at that cut of the grass.
He faked the break, lined over the glove of the second baseman. That's going to go to the wall. Travis had to hold up to make sure it wasn't caught. He is being stopped, and Reyes made a big turn around second, but fortunately, the shortstop second baseman went out for the double backup. The first baseman was near the mound. Reyes was already at shortstop, and he was going to run into an out.
Yeah, Jose was low flying. They call it in baseball around the bases. Line drive now. Travis has to hold up. He faked a break, stopped. Then he had to stop again and start to go back because he thought the ball was going to be caught. So he was not going to score. Reyes was low flying. He had his head down. He wasn't picking up the third base coach. But he did. As soon as he hit the bag at second base, he had to throw the brakes on.
Well, you don't want to take a chance. Number 9 hitter gets a single. Leadoff man gets a double. Nobody out second and third. You don't want to run into an out at home. Russell Martin walked his first time up. Well, Martin was late getting out of the way of that pitch.
And he wasn't happy at all. You can see him kind of say something under his breath as he turned around. Watch how late he is. He does the right thing. Turns away. Gets out of the way. That's no fun.
I don't think he saw that ball. Ball and a strike. It's very bright here in spring training. Sun beating down, no clouds in the sky, and there's kind of a haze over. And once in a while, you'll lose a baseball.
Yeah, no sunglasses either. Very bright.
Ball and a strike to Russell Martin. That may have been a splitter. We had a lot of movement down and in. Brooke Jacoby, the hitting coach, has been preaching a 2-strike approach all spring long. Stay in the big part of the field, put the bat on the ball. Infield's back. Contact will get you a run.
Mm-hmm. Keep it in the middle of the diamond. Tough to do that now. 2 strikes. Try and serve the ball to the right side or keep it in the middle of the diamond to get the run in and get the runner over. Right now, you're just trying to battle to stay alive.
Looked like another splitter for the strikeout. Big strikeout for Jimenez. That's his 3rd strikeout so far.
Put it in a good spot. Right here. Down and away, and it looked like Russell was looking for something in. You see, collapses just a little bit, and he comes up empty on that pitch by Jimenez.
Jose Bautista ripped the ball to the base of the wall in left field. His first time up, he was held to a long single. Pops this one back. He got a good pitch to drive, just missed it.
Boy, is he too close? JP? Jimmy.
0-1. Baltimore has a 1-0 lead. They scored a run in the top half of this inning. Another pitch upstairs. You can see Bautista was just trying to stay on top of that pitch and foul it into the glove of the
Try
pitcher.
and make some contact right there. Jimenez can be really tough. Just his windup, his delivery towards home plate. He's got that long, funky arm swing where there's a little hesitation. And he's still throwing hard.
Jimenez has a motion somewhat like the former Cub Rick Sutcliffe, where he wraps the ball behind his back, and hitters can actually see that baseball behind his back, and then you can't find it when he comes through his delivery. Nice play by Clevenger. He smothered that ball in the dirt.
You know, he threw a lot harder when he was younger, but think about the hitter at the plate when you see this type of motions. Watch the arm go down and then come up, and then all of a sudden it's on top of you. A little hesitation right there can mess up your timing.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2nd and 3rd. Out in front. Ball is popped to left. Travis is tagging at 3rd. Reimold is set. He makes the catch, and he's going to stop as that ball is short of the mark. It bounces to home plate, but Luis Rivera is saying, you know what? We've got Encarnacion coming up with 2 outs. Don't force it. It wasn't that deep.
Yeah, the ball wasn't hit that deep, and Reimold did everything correctly in left field. He got behind the ball. He got his momentum going towards home plate and threw an accurate throw.
Edwin Encarnacion struck out in his first at bat. Devin Travis at 3rd. He led it off with a single. He went to 3rd base on the double by Jose Reyes, and now there are 2 outs. Reyes at 2nd. The Orioles really have a dilemma with Jimenez. He was taken out of the rotation last year, and they've got a rotation 6 deep right now, including Jimenez. It's his bounce just outside of 3rd. The Orioles rotation sets up with Chris Tillman top of the rotation, Wei-Yin Chen, Bud Norris, Miguel Gonzalez, Kevin Gausman, and Ubaldo Jimenez. Somebody's got to go.
And last year it was Gausman, wasn't it? He went down for a little bit and then came back up, and he's got the brightest future of all of those young starters.
So fly ball into center. This should end the inning. Everett Cabrera over under it. Ubaldo Jimenez has pitched out of a couple of jams here. So far, so good for the big right-hander.
Spring Training on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Scott's Coated Grass Seed. This spring, build up your outfield, even if you miss a day of watering, with Scott's Coated Grass Seed.
Mark Burley working very quickly. He throws a first pitch strike to the catcher, Steve Clevenger. Clevenger singled to center in the second inning. He was one of 2 Orioles stranded on base as Burley was able to pitch around back-to-back singles to start the inning. Waited back on that high pitch. That's not exactly where Burley wanted that one.
No, get that breaking ball down. You were talking about the single to center field, and now Jose Reyes is starting to position himself right behind Mark Burley. That's exactly where that ball went last time up.
And now he shoots one in the hole. Reyes on the money. What a nice play. Jose Reyes, as you mentioned, it moved up the middle. Clevenger tried to shoot one through the left side, and Reyes made a terrific play to throw him out.
Again, he wants to improve on his defensive metrics from last season. This will help right here. Goes to the backhand. He doesn't have time to plant that right foot, so he throws on the run and throws accurately and gets Clevenger by a step. Good play to start the fourth.
Very good play. He's got arm strength, and the majority of his errors will be throwing errors where he just bounces, doesn't get a lot on it. But boy, he took his time right there, even though he knew it was going to be a tough play, and threw his strength. This is Jason Nix playing at second base.
Yeah, check. Hi, Jake.
2-1. Boy, Burley, he'll throw the kitchen sink at you in spring training, and you just got to wonder, and thinking about power versus finesse, who takes the longest to refine their pitches in spring training? Whether a power guy can come out and locate his power fastball, or a guy like Burley who has to really change speeds.
Well, I think, first of all, he's been doing it for so long. He knows what he needs to do to get himself ready. And then the younger power pitcher type of guys, they've got that quick arm. I think to find that arm slot, it's a little bit harder for them to get into the strike zone. Burley, he's been doing this forever. Drops the breaking ball, cutter. Nix thinks it's inside, drops his bat. Got to go back to the dugout.
Chris Parmalee, the first baseman, takes the strike. Burley continues to work quickly. Just missed with that breaking ball. We've talked about it a lot with Burley last couple of years. Is he keeps the pressure on the hitter. There's a little looper, and that's going to drop just over the glove of Devin Travis. Bautista will play it back into the infield. A 2-out group single for Chris Parmalee.
Looked like a cutter for Mark Burley that got in on the hands of Parmalee, and he just muscles the ball into right field. Breaks his bat. Travis thought he had a shot at it. It's just out of his reach, and he gives way to Bautista to finish off that play. That's a time where you make the pitch that you wanted to. You did everything right, and you still got a base hit.
Paul Giannis, the shortstop, number 9 hitter. He flied out to end the Oriole threat in the second. Baltimore has a 1-0 lead. They've out-hit the Blue Jays 6-3 so far. This is trouble if it's fair, but it hooks foul down the left side. It's interesting. We have seen the youngsters, Castro, Osuna, Sanchez, and Norris, and how they will elicit funky swings. Well, Burley does it in reverse. He does it by backing off his pitches. And you see a lot of off-balance swings from the hitters and in-between commitments on pitches.
That's why he's so good at forwards and backwards when we talk about getting guys out. He's got enough fastball to lock up hitters.
Ground ball. Reyes takes the hop, goes to second. That ends the inning. Another good inning of work for Mark Burley. He's had 4 solid innings so far. Good defense behind him.
Fans, the best way to go see multiple games this year is the Blue Jays Flex Pack. You pick the games and the reserve seats that get you closer to the action at Rogers Center. Purchase a 2015 Blue Jays Flex Pack before March 30th, and you'll receive a Blue Jays New Era cap. For tickets, call 416-341-1234 or bluejays.com/free cap offer. Buck.
A lot of great games on that schedule this year, Barry, and the Blue Jays and Orioles have played 9 times the first 7 weeks of the season. And last year, the Orioles had the upper hand in the season in the series. The Orioles went 11-8 against the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have not had a winning season against Baltimore since 2011. Of course, last year, the Orioles won a division with a terrific 96-66 record. They won the division by 12 games.
And the guy who won the clincher against the Blue Jays, pitching today for him,
Baldo Jimenez. That was September 16th in Baltimore against Drew Hutchison.
Isn't it funny how it goes? For years, the Blue Jays owned the Baltimore Orioles. I'm talking if they play them 18 times, they beat them 15 times during the season. And just like that, it switched over the last few years, and now the Blue Jays are in tough whenever they face the Orioles.
Think that has anything to do with Buck Showalter?
I think it has everything to do with Buck Showalter. As soon as he arrived, they got his team together, they got their pitching staff ironed out, they filled up their team with home run hitters, and now it's tough. It's a tough call when you go down to Baltimore.
Josh Donaldson, high and deep to left. He put the tomahawk swing on that, and he knows it's way back out of here. Donaldson's 4th home run of the season, and just like that, wouldn't mat it up and one. Boy, he got on top of that high pitch.
You know, last time up, he had 2 strikes, and Jimenez went after him with a fastball and struck him out. This time he got 2 strikes on Josh Donaldson. It looked like he tried to go up. But Josh Donaldson, with that great 2-strike approach, he didn't overdo it. He stayed very calm, used his hands. Watch this. Up and out. Maybe an off-speed pitch that he tomahawks, gets on top of it. He knows it. He's hit a few in his career. He knows what they feel like.
Went deep 29 times at last season. Blue Jay fans, you want to get to Rogers Center to watch this lineup hit. And I know that Josh Donaldson is excited about the prospects. Second baseman Nick's behind the diving first baseman, makes the play on the edge of the grass and throws out Deanna Navarro.
Well, they've got a little bit of everything, I think, the Blue Jays. They've got some speed. They've got very good team speed at the top and the bottom of their lineup. They've got guys who can hit home runs. We've talked about that all spring long, the guys who can power the ball out of the ballpark. They've got guys who hit for good averages. They can hit and run if they need to. They can play small ball if they need to. They're going to score their share of runs. I think the whole key for the Blue Jays is just staying healthy. When they were healthy and playing last year, they were in the top 5 in runs scored in the American League.
Dalton Pompey looks at one up and away. Pompey grounded out the first baseman, his first time up. Ball on the strike. Another home run for the Blue Jays. They've had a good spring training in that regard, and that's their MO. They hit home runs and score runs.
Hey, when these two teams get together, you're going to see the balls flying out of the ballpark.
They were first and second in the American League in home runs last season. Baltimore had 211 as a team. The Orioles led the American League. The Blue Jays had 177 home runs as a team.
That's 3 straight years that the Baltimore Orioles as a team have hit at least 200 home runs. That's going to score you a lot of runs and get you back into a lot of games, isn't it?
There's a liner to right. Alvarez is right there in his tracks and makes the catch. 2 down.
Wonder if it's going to be a little bit different though in Baltimore this season. No Nelson Cruz. 40 home runs taken right out. And maybe no Matt Wieters.
Yeah, Matt Wieters was out most of last year as well. And Manny Machado is back at third base, and he can provide some power. There's some questions right now about J.J. Hardy, whether or not he'll be ready to start the season. He fell down on Friday, banged his shoulder, and got very sore. He is unable to play. They said the earliest he would possibly play might be Tuesday. They're not certain about that. This is Kevin Pillar, who takes a curveball for a strike. The Yankees got a scare from their shortstop as well. Didi Gregorius sprained his wrist diving for a ball in the hole at shortstop.
That's the problem of spring training. When you get to this part of spring training, you've got less than a week to go. You've got games that you have to play. The pitchers still have to get their work in. You want no injuries.
Sharply hit to the third baseman. Paredes throws out Kevin Pillar. We're in a 1-1 game because of one swing of the bat. Josh Donaldson goes upstairs and hammers out a 2-strike pitch for Donaldson. Home run number 4 this spring.
WWE fans, it is tonight WrestleMania, 7 o'clock Eastern. You can watch it on WWE Network for only $11.99 per month. Visit WWE.com/Canada. Guys, I was a big George the Animal Steele fan back in the 80s. I know you guys were big wrestling fans back in the day.
Absolutely, Tino Santana.
The Sheik.
Yeah, the Sheik.
Bobo, Brazil. We've got to go back to the 70s.
Harley Race. Mark Burley continues to work here. It's a 1-1 ball game. Nolan Reimold is the leadoff man. He's gone 0 for 2 so far. Bouncing ball. Donaldson plays it off to the side, reaches back for a little extra and throws it in the dirt. Edwin Encarnacion couldn't dig it out. It should be an error on the third baseman as Donaldson short hopped Encarnacion at first.
He did everything right. He turned his body. He timed it perfectly. Reimold got down the line on this ball. See how he turned himself a little bit? Ball's a little bit low, and Encarnacion cannot come up with it. And I'm wondering, even if he did, Reimold might have beat that ball out.
Well, it has been ruled a base hit, so the official scorer is thinking along the lines that you are. But barely, he responds with the first pitch strike to the center fielder, Everett Cabrera. Cabrera doubled and scored in the third. Fifth inning.
Boy, that's so important to throw a strike. Right after you get that leadoff batter on base, to throw a strike, then the opposing manager could shut down your running game. It could shut down hitting and running. Puts the pressure right back on the hitter.
Get that ball down and away, trying to get Cabrera to chase. Blue Jays turned a pair of double plays in yesterday's game. They would like an opportunity to do that right here. Strike 3 call. Dick Carapazza, the home plate umpire, with an emphatic strike 3 call. Cabrera strikes out for a second time this afternoon.
A couple of balls on the inside part of the plate for Burley, and then when he goes to get the strikeout, where does he go? Away. Cuts that ball on the outside part of the plate. Cabrera gives up on it, and it's strike 3. Second time he has struck out this afternoon.
Remember early in the season when Burley was on that great roll, how many times he got called third strikes, especially inside. You remember his first game against Tampa Bay, he was wearing out that inside corner, and the Rays hitters were looking out over the plate, and he baffled him with that fastball.
Crossed him up. He's got 4 strikeouts this afternoon, all 4 of them taken.
This is popped up, sound like a broken bat. Travis is out from second. Here comes Pilar from left, and he makes the catch. Burley alertly covers the bag at second base as both middle infielders went out on that pop-up.
Communication, you got to have it. That ball was heading out into no man's land, and Pilar, you could see him call off his infielders. It makes the play.
Well, you talk about defense improving, and it's going to be better in the outfield with Pompey in center field and Pilar for the time being in left. They can both play very good defense. Delman Young has gone 0 for 2. Bautista in right robbed him of an extra base hit in the third. Check swing, bouncing ball into the Blue Jays dugout, and that scattered those pitchers hanging out on the rail.
Delman, you're my hero.
Ball in the strike. Boy, Burley. And you can bet both of these guys are so familiar with one another. Burley's probably trying something different here in the spring to see if he might learn something about getting Delman Young out.
Yeah, maybe it's that cutter right in on his hands. That was 81 miles an hour, and it really tied him up.
They seem to pop this one up. In case you're just joining us, Delman Young is a career .420 hitter against Mark Burley. And it's not a small sampling. He's 21 for 50.
Delman, best outside. Outside.
Donaldson goes to second. That ends the inning. Mark Burley has stranded a base runner in all 5 innings so far. It's still a 1-1 game. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Another gorgeous afternoon here in Dunedin, Florida. We've got a great game going on, a 1-1 ball game. Orioles have 1 run on 7 hits. Blue Jays 1 run on 4 hits. We are pleased to be informed now that Mark Burley is standing by with us down in the dugout. Mark, good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Boy, another good day of work for you. Talk a little bit about what you're trying to accomplish here, possibly with just one more start left in the spring.
Just the same as before. I want to get outs. I like to have nice results. I feel like I got a little stronger as the game went along. Third inning, I didn't miss too many bats, but guys are out there diving all over the place, making plays. But yeah, just going out there and trying to get outs and building pitch count was the main thing today. Try to get up to 90 pitches. I'd like to make it more than just 5 innings, but I'm going to have some days like that.
Mark, you've been doing it for so long. Is there anything that you're working on? Are you trying to cut your fastball in on righties or backdoor them just a little bit more this spring, or is it business as usual?
Yeah, I think it's just going out there and, like I said, pitch count and working on everything. Right now, it's just working with Russell, trying to get a game plan, just kind of have him feel me out and how I like to pitch. So, not really. Can't sit there and say I'm throwing certain pitches and certain counts. I'm throwing everything up there and just trying to get everything better.
Come on, Travis gets thrown out as he's tagged out on the steal attempt. That's interesting, Mark, because you are working with a different catcher now, and you work with a host of catchers throughout your career. But you allow the catcher, for most part, to call the game. How do you impact Russell Martin as to how you would like to pitch?
I kind of told him, just you put it down. I'm going to try to make the best pitch. Whatever thing you put, I'm going to try to throw it for a strike and make it a quality pitch. I feel like I've done it my whole career, and again, I don't go over scouting reports. I don't read swings. When you're throwing 82, 83 miles an hour, you throw a fastball and a guy's late on it, you're not going to come back and say, I'm going to throw this one by him. So I like to just go out there and not put the responsibility on him because I'm the one making the pitches, but just put the finger down and whatever it is, I'm going to try to make the best pitch at the time.
Let me ask you something. Are you aware of Delman Young's numbers against you?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys that's hitting in the 400s and 500s off me.
Not that many.
No, they're not.
But Delman has more at bats than anybody against you. You guys have faced each other a lot.
Yeah, Minnesota days. And we've even talked about it beforehand. He's the one guy that's in the lineup that's probably going to be in there my first start against him. So I just got to keep on mixing it up. I think the league knows what I throw. I'm not tricking him anymore. I've been around a while, and so I'm just trying to mix it up on every guy. But yeah, he's had some success against me.
Mark, where do you go from here? When's your next start, and have they talked about where you're going to start this season?
Yeah, I think I'm going to throw first game in Montreal, and then have a couple extra days going into the season, and I think we're throwing the first game in Baltimore.
Outstanding stuff. They have shaken up the rotation a little bit. I know John hasn't made it public, but obviously we can figure things out from where you're pitching today.
Yeah, I'm throwing the fourth game. That's what I've been told. Obviously, the numbers against the Yankees aren't the best. But again, we're going to face them throughout the course of the season. But they wanted to skip me that first series, and I'm not really sure who's going that first series either. But I'll be ready for first game in Baltimore.
Well, Mark, it's great to have you here. We appreciate the time this afternoon, and good luck this season.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mark. Russell Martin flies out to right. Great to have Mark Burley with us, and we will move to the sixth. It's a 1-1 game. Both starters have had a good outing so far.
Fans, it's Sunday, and that means hometown hockey. Rogers hometown hockey tonight. The Blackhawks in Winnipeg to take on the Jets. Ron McLean hosts the pregame show live from the Sportsnet mobile studio in Lethbridge, Alberta. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific on City. Buck?
Thank you, Barry. Beautiful shot of Osprey out in the trees here. Osprey are all over the place as the Intercoastal is only about a couple blocks away. Aaron Loup takes over from Mark Burley.
7 games this season for Aaron Loup, and he's putting up what he usually does, 245 earned run average, 7 1/3 innings. He pitched in yesterday's game down in Pittsburgh in Bradenton, where he stretched it out an inning and a third for Loup, zeros all the way across the board. He just goes out there and does his thing, just like Mark Burley. Pound the strike zone, use that breaking ball and changeup.
Aaron Loup faced the minimum 4 batters. He's checking in with Russell Martin. What's the purpose of having Loup go back-to-back at this point of the spring?
I think everybody's going to have to do that in the bullpen. What they're trying to do is they're going to recreate what might happen during the season, where you might have to pitch an inning on a Wednesday and come right back and pitch another inning on a Thursday. So that's one of the final things that relievers are going to do before they break camp here. Go back-to-back days, and today is Aaron Loup's day.
Pounds and strikes him with the first pitch fastball to Dariel Alvarez. Alvarez is 1 for 2. Loup is now 27 years old. He's from Louisiana. Pitched at Tulane and goes strike 2. He came up in 2012, appeared in 33 games. He was impressive in his first major league experience, went 6 up, 6 down against the Indians in relief. And at that time, I can remember you and I both reacting to, who's this guy?
We didn't see him in spring training, did we?
Not at all. He came to the big leagues without having gone to Major League spring training camp. I don't think he's going anywhere soon.
No, this is a guy who we were talking earlier, grew up in the Blue Jay organization. He's one of their guys, and he is in a solid role right now. Lefty out of the bullpen. And what makes him very interesting and very capable is he gets left-handers out and right-handers out.
Which is really important. Say you're in the 7th inning and you've got a lefty, righty, lefty, and you want to use one pitcher so he can stay in there and get that middle right-hander. Alvarez stays alive. He got a piece of it. I asked Luke what he was trying to accomplish this spring. He said, I want to be more consistent with my slider. He said, from time to time, that slider would come out of my hand and create a loop, and it was a red flag for hitters. I'm trying to get it consistent where it comes out of my hand on the same plane as my fastball.
A loop from loop?
A loop from loop. And it's not good. There's a good breaking ball, a strikeout. Let's check in with Barry Davis.
Well, guys, as we know, Marcus Stroman will not pitch for the Blue Jays this season, recovering after the knee injury, but he is not going to be wasting his time simply just rehabbing. Marcus is, in fact, going back to school. He says that getting his degree was always very important to him, so he's going to attend Duke, finish his degree in sociology. He says that he never wanted baseball to get in the way of education. He didn't want education to get in the way of his dream, and he's a believer that things happen for a reason, and that was a great catch, by the way, by Josh Donaldson. So he's going back to get his degree and says that he'll be more motivated than ever to come back next season. A great story and a great way for him to spend the next year.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not going to be available to play baseball, take advantage of your time off. And he said, I'm going to be able to rehab with the best doctors in the country at the same time, get the credits I need to get my degree. Good for Marcus Stroman. Yeah. We want to wish him the best all summer long. I'm sure we'll see him from time to time during the course of the season.
There is a life after baseball.
Wow.
And he's going to take care of that. Fortunately, we're going to miss him.
Yeah. Ball club will really miss him. And hopefully he'll have a 100% recovery and be right back with the Blue Jays next year. I was thinking about going back and finishing up my college degree. I'm a year short, but it was so long ago that they've lost all the records.
Do they still have those courses? What do you remember what you were?
Oh, I was a business major, of course, like every other baseball player I knew. That was before they had sports management.
That would have been perfect, right?
But good on Marcus Stroman. taking advantage of an unfortunate situation. There's that breaking ball we were talking about. Misses to Jason Nix. Nix has gone 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Mark Burley had a good outing. He goes 5 innings, allows 1 run on 7 hits.
No walks for Mark Burley. That's been a theme, hasn't it, this spring?
Well, Blue Jays have done a great job of throwing the ball over. And it just makes your team better. When pitchers are aggressive.
Starters among American League team, we talked about it in the opening, they had the lowest earned run average in the American League. 2.66. They have the lowest whip among American League teams this spring. 107. They're also the lowest batting average against, lowest on base percentage, and the lowest on base plus slugging average among American League teams starters. So mission accomplished right now through spring training for the Jays.
How about Aaron Luke? 3 up, 3 down. Couple of strikeouts. Good inning of work. Back-to-back outings, and they've both been good for Luke.
Fans, MLB.com at BAT is the official app for Major League Baseball. Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. If you are a sports fan, a Blue Jays fan, or a baseball fan, this is an app you cannot live without. Buck?
Barry, it's a very good app. It keeps you up to date on everything that's going on around baseball, and you have the ability to just check out all the games. And for Baltimore, they're playing a home game against the Twins this afternoon. And they've got a split squad. They're being managed today by their AAA manager, Ron Johnson. He manages the Norfolk Tides. Bautista takes the ball upstairs. It's 2 balls and no strikes, leading off the 6th.
You need to get that app just to keep up with everything that happens in baseball daily. There's always something happening.
Well, this time of the year, teams are cutting down their rosters. They're dealing with injuries. We mentioned J.J. Hardy and his shoulder injury. Didi Gregorius of the Yankees has injured his wrist, and his status is uncertain. How about Christian Vasquez of the Boston Red Sox? He's got an elbow problem. He's going to see Dr. Andrews. That is never a good thing. Matt Lindstrom was released by the Angels, a hard-throwing reliever. Didn't make their ball club, so he is out there.
And teams are starting to, as that ball is fouled, announce opening day starters. We will see Tanaka when the Blue Jays go to New York.
It'll be Tanaka, followed by Pineda on Wednesday after the off day Tuesday, and then CC Sabathia on Thursday. San Diego Padres made the announcement. Oh, by the way, James Shields will open up for them.
What do you think about Steven Strasburg not getting the start for Washington?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Bouncing ball, 2-hopper, big hop for Giannis at short. Bautista's done. Yeah, Steven Strasburg made the 3 previous starts for the Washington Nationals. Scherzer gets the big contract as a free agent, and right away Matt Williams puts him in the #1 spot. I guess if you got a new expensive toy, you want to run it out there on the first day, huh?
Detroit's doing the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
I was surprised Verlander, what was that, 7 in a row for Justin, and now it's going to be David Price?
Yeah, and there's a lot of that going on. And of course, it looks like Drew Hutchison's going to open up for the Blue Jays against the Yankees if you just go by the days and count backwards from opening day to when he last pitched, and he got 1 more start. So R.A. Dickey had made the last 2 opening day starts. It'd be interesting to see the opening day lineup. There's a chance that there'll be 4 new players in the opening day lineup for the Blue Jays: Russell Martin, Devin Travis, Kevin Pillar, and Dalton Pompey. Last year, the opening day lineup quite a bit different than what we expect. It was Reyes, Melky Cabrera, Bautista. Encarnacion, Navarro is the DH. Brett Laurie at third, Rasmussen center, Isturiz at second, and Tolley catching. Quite a turnover.
And that lasted. As that ball, it's a nice play. Very nice play. That lasted all of, what, 4 pitches?
Yeah, it wasn't long because Reyes got hurt after his first at bat.
We have been seeing some defense over the last couple of days here by both teams. Here's another one. Giannis to his feet and throws that out. Edwin Encarnacion on the backside. Chris Barkley, how about that? Dig it out of the dirt, make the out.
Yeah, both the shortstop and the first baseman making good defensive plays on that ball hit by Encarnacion. Reyes has made a good play here. Bautista made a terrific diving catch in right. Josh Donaldson leading off the 4th inning. Was batting against Jimenez with 2 strikes.
Struck him out his first time up, and then this time it's Josh Donaldson getting some revenge. High pitch that he tomahawks over the trees in left field. Tied the game up.
That ball goes off the glove of Ray Navarro, just in the game defensively. He recovers in time to end the inning. Quick inning here in the 6th to go to the 7th. 1-1 game. Couple of American League East rivals.
Fans, it's almost here. The Blue Jays open the regular season a week from tomorrow in New York, and then the Honda home opener goes April the 13th at Rogers Center. That game is sold out, but if you're looking for tickets for the rest of the series in Honda opening week, you can get them at 416-341-1234. Buck, the spring, where did it go? We're almost ready to start this up for real.
Yeah, I am ready to go, Barry. I want to start the regular season, and we're going to Montreal on the 3rd and 4th for a couple of games, and that'll seem like a regular season atmosphere for sure. Brett Cecil into the ball game. Aaron Luke had a 1-2-3 inning of work. Now it's over to Cecil.
And I'm sure we'll see Brett Cecil in there in a new role this season. He has been anointed the closer of the season. As we finish up spring training, there are his numbers last year. Sterling, 2-3, 270 earned run average. That curveball has been outstanding over the last couple of years for Brett Cecil. He can use it for strikeouts, use them to get him back into the count.
Chris Parmalee, the first baseman's had a good day with the glove. He's also 1 for 2, was robbed of a base hit in the second. Edwin Encarnacion took one away from him. He is a former Twin trying to hook on. We mentioned that the Orioles, they have 21 players in camp that are out of options. They're going to lose some players when they cut down to their 25-man roster, and they really have a challenge. They are loaded in the outfield, and they don't have any clear-cut outfielders. They can say, okay, this guy's going to play here for sure. You know, Adam Jones is going to be at center.
Manny Machado will be at third. J.J. Hardy, when he's healthy, will be the shortstop.
That's a big point, when he's healthy. You just don't know how long that shoulder's going to keep him out. Second base is up in the air. Chris Davis is going to play first.
Yeah, he'll be somewhere. But Buck Showalter, he likes teams like that with a lot of...
He had a case of those glasses that he had on top of his car. He forgot they were on top of the car until he had been driving for a while, and he heard a big bang and realized the box fell off the back. He pulled over to the side of the road, and just as he was about to grab the box of glasses, an 18-wheeler ran them over. About $1,200 worth of glasses destroyed, and it took about 2 weeks for him to get a new order in. Only things like that happen to Brett Cecil, guys.
An unfortunate situation, but he seems to be up to speed with glasses now, and he pitched without them for a while and had trouble seeing the signs, and now he's much more comfortable and has no hesitations about wearing it.
Well, just keep doing what you're doing, because he's been outstanding the last couple of years.
Going to be interesting to see how he evolves into that closer's role. And you and I have been around baseball forever. We have seen guys that have pitched in the 8th inning and done a great job, and then when they're promoted into that closer's role, they don't have the same success. There goes the runner at first. The hit and run is on. It's pulled foul by Paul Giannis.
Well, he certainly has the stuff to do it. First thing you look at, I think, at least for me, when you're thinking about closers, guys at the end of the game, do they have one of two things? Do they throw hard? They've got a strikeout pitch with a fastball, or do they have a trick pitch where they can get guys out with that pitch? For me, for Brett Cecil, it's his curveball, and it's a good one. He's not afraid to use it. He'll use it early in the count, late in the count, and he's got enough fastball like that right there to get you out.
Cecil inherited some tough situations last year pitching in the 8th inning. He'd come in with guys aboard, and he was able to pitch around, get out of the inning. Here he elevates the fastball and gets the strikeout.
I think that's one of the reasons why John Gibbons gave him that closer's role. He was telling me today that, Cecil came in a lot of times last year with runners on base, and he calmly got the Blue Jays out of it. That takes a lot of pressure to come in, get out of something that was started by the opposition. For the most part, closers, they trot in with the lead, nobody on base, and you're working from zero. Cecil has shown that he can handle it.
Take a look at Brett Cecil, how things have evolved for him. Of course, he was a starter, had a 15-game win season as a starter. He made the conversion and pitched very well the last couple of times. The strikeouts per 9 innings has jumped recently.
I think it's the curveball. He's been throwing it. Changed the grip on it just a little bit. Went with that spiked curveball where he tucks that index finger onto the baseball. And he gets great torque and great spin on that breaking ball.
Last year, he was 2-3 with a 270 earned run average. He had 5 saves in just 7 save opportunities. Lefties actually hit better against him than righties. 247 for the lefty bats, 213 for the right-handers. Nolan Mimo cuts on that high fastball. I think the big question is whether or not a guy can close is the fact that you have the entire team's fortunes in your hands. And there's no safety net behind you. In the past, when Cecil was working in the 8th inning and Casey Jansen behind him, he get in jam. They might go to Jansen in the 8th inning with a couple of outs to get him out of the inning, but that won't be the case with Cecil as the closer.
That happens all around baseball every year. New York's going to have to find a new closer. The Yankees, Dylan Betances did an unbelievable job for him last year in the 8th inning. Can he fill the role as a closer in the 9th inning?
Right now, he's having a terrible spring. He's got a 7.11 earned run average this spring.
Remember Tommy Hunter last year for these Baltimore Orioles.
Russell Martin bounces the ball in front of Devin Travis, and Parmalee is going to go to third as Nolan Rimo walked on ball 4. So the throw was not necessary, and it cost Russell Martin an error. Devin Travis tried to block that ball. He recognized it was ball 4. He got in front of the bag and tried to block the ball. But on ball 4, ball was in the dirt, got away from Travis, and Parmalee goes to third.
Trying to use his body to block it, but it went out in the center field, and Parmalee's able to move up 90 feet. But to finish that thought, Tommy Hunter was the closer at the end of spring training last year for these Orioles. Remember the home run that Colby Rasmus hit off of him. Next thing you know, Zach Britton's closing and had a great year.
This is Everett Cabrera, continues to bat right-handed. He's a switch hitter who's gone 1 for 3. He has struck out twice and doubled and scored the Orioles run. It's a 1-1 game. Tried to check his swing on that breaking ball, and that's the equalizing pitch for Cecil, his curveball.
Boy, it certainly is. It's a good one. It gets on top of it and really drives that ball down. It's got late break. And he'll pick up a lot of strikeouts with that sharp curveball.
Had that one upstairs a little bit. Cabrera is able to foul it back and stay alive. Cecil did a great job pitching with runners in scoring position a year ago. The league hit just 120 against him. But once again, and he had a terrific season, but he's now going to be the closer, and he wants this role. He has let it be known early in camp, I want to be the guy. And
well, didn't he close in college?
He did at Maryland. University of Maryland, he was the closer. There's a bouncing ball. Reyes is going to go to the bag. Steps on second for one. Double play to get out of the inning. We have seen good defense from both ball clubs all afternoon. The first double play for the Blue Jays bails out Brett Cecil. Reyes goes right to the bag. Steps on second and fires to first to end the inning.
So stand up and stretch it out to the sound of take.
Fans, this is our final broadcast from Florida this spring. However, we will be back on the air next Friday and Saturday as the Blue Jays play 2 games in Montreal. It all begins Friday at 6 o'clock Eastern. Hazel May has Sportsnet Central. At 6:30, it's Jamie and Greg with Blue Jays Central. And then at 7 o'clock, Buck Martinez, Pat Tabler, and myself will have Blue Jays and Reds, the first of 2. And guys, always a thrill when the Blue Jays go to Olympic Stadium, and it will be a packed house. And what a weekend it's going to be for Russell Martin.
Yeah, it should be a great weekend for Russell Martin returning to his hometown of Montreal. Also, Canadian Joey Votto will play for the Cincinnati Reds. And the Blue Jays have announced that Vladimir Guerrero will be honored on Friday night, the former Expo. And then on Saturday, how about Roberto Alomar and Cito Gaston, 2 prominent names in the World Series years of 92 and 93, will be honored on Saturday afternoon. That's all part of the weekend festivities in Montreal at the Big O. T.J. McFarland is into the ball game. He had a good year for the Orioles last year.
This was a good bullpen for the Baltimore Orioles last year. McFarland, he was a swing man. He could start games. He can be a long man out of the bullpen, throw strikes. He was picked up as a Rule 5 a couple of years ago, and he's really impressed and found a home in that bullpen.
Done a good job, as did the starter, Ubaldo Jimenez. Jimenez went 6 strong innings. Finished up retiring the final 5 men he faced. This is Deanna Navarro, who has been the DH this afternoon. Bouncing ball, big hop for Paredes at third base. He throws him out. 1 down. Well, the Blue Jays have just made the announcement that they have claimed first baseman Andy Wilkins from the Chicago White Sox and have optioned Wilkins to Buffalo in the International League. Wilkins is 26 years old. He appeared in 14 games this spring for the White Sox. Hit .333 with 6 RBIs. He's a left-handed hitting first baseman. He hit .293 last year with Charlotte in AAA with 38 doubles and 30 home runs. Interesting claim, and that's what's going to happen for the rest of spring training. You're going to hear a lot of these waiver claims and people picking up players right at the end of the spring. What a terrific bunt by Pompey. They had no chance of throwing him out. Pompey, like Navarro, is a switch hitter, and he turns around and drops down a 1-out bunt.
Paredes, the third baseman, was playing deep, and he got a good pitch, Pompey, to handle as a curveball, so that thing is coming in towards him, the ball. He gets the bat ahead out in front and creates backspin on the ball and bends it. And he makes it easily for a bunt single.
Well, and that's the aspect of the bottom third of this order that's different than we've seen for the last several years. You have a switch hitter in Pompey who can run, he can get on base, he's got power. And then you've got Pilar, who can play hit and run even with 1 out.
And Dalton can steal bases. He had a big season last year stealing bases.
And Devin Travis is the number 9 hitter. He's got 2 hits already this afternoon. Seemed to be a little confusion at first base between Pompey and the first base coach, Tim Leeper. There's a little looper into center, and that's going to get down in front of Cabrera, and Pompey stops at second as Pilar reaches with a single. Back-to-back 1-out singles here in the 7th.
Got just enough of it to dump it into center field for a base hit. Pilar is having a good spring. At .250 coming into this game, just gets it right off the end of the bat. Dalton Pompey reads it, sees the center fielder and has no chance. Now he can't move up on that ball because he had to respect the outfield for possibly catching that. But back-to-back base hits here in the 7th inning. Devin Travis has a chance to untie this game.
The Blue Jays have 7 hits, bottom third of the order. They have 4 of those hits. Travis is 2 for 2, batting in the 9th spot. Leadoff spot is next. Jonathan Diaz has grabbed the bat. He's on deck. He appears to be ready to bat for Jose Reyes. We mentioned the young second baseman, Devin Travis, is 2 for 2. He was caught stealing in the 5th. He's had double-digit steal seasons twice in his minor league career, but he's not really a stolen base threat. He's 0 for 3 so far this spring in that department. Shoots this one foul down the right side. Dalton Pompey at second base. He can steal third. And he's taking a long look at Luis Rivera, the third base coach. See whether or not he's getting the stop sign there at second.
And Navarro, the second baseman, is getting some signals that, hey, get a little bit closer to that bag. Hold that runner on just a little bit closer. Lots of room in left center field for Devin Travis to shoot for.
Hot shot. What a play by Giannis to second for 1, back to first, and the defense has been on their toes all afternoon. The journeyman Paul Giannis snares it, flips quickly to Ray Navarro. Good double play by the Orioles to end the 7th.
Blue Jays fans, don't miss the current issue of Sportsnet magazine. It's the Blue Jays season preview edition. It has everything you need to get you ready for the upcoming season. It's on newsstands now. Buck, we are very fortunate at Sportsnet magazine to have a very large pool of fantastic writers and some great reads in that magazine.
Absolutely. A lot of great stories covering everything about opening day, and it'll be a great opportunity for you to catch up and preview what's coming up for the 2015 season. New pitcher for the Blue Jays is Jeff Francis, the lefty.
There are his numbers from the spring, trying to make this team out of the bullpen. Another left-hander out of the bullpen, fastball. He'll turn it over at times. He's got a good curveball. We were talking earlier about back-to-back days with Aaron Luke. Well, this is a back-to-back day for Jeff Francis. He pitched in yesterday's game, 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, a run, and a strikeout.
Blue Jays have been fairly consistent in giving their relief pitchers opportunities they might experience during the regular season. With Francis, he came in the ballgame yesterday to get out of an inning, and he did just that. And then he came back for the start of the next inning, and here he gets that curveball over to get Paredes.
I love that curveball right there from Jeff Francis. His strikeout yesterday was against the left-hander, a good hitter, Freddie Freeman. He used this same curveball right here. It's got a lot of bend and break to it. Good job by Josh Tolley to keep that ball in front of him.
This is Delman Young. Young has gone 0 for 3 today. We were teasing Mark Burley about Young's numbers against him. Delman is hit .420 against the Blue Jays lefty. Today, Mark Burley had the upper hand. kept him to 0 for 3 and got some help by Jose Bautista in the third inning. Bautista made a terrific diving catch in right field, take a hit away from Delman Young.
Saved a run. It would have been back-to-back doubles.
Josh Tolle is behind the plate. He's taken over for Russell Martin. Blue Jays have made wholesale defensive changes. Pop back out of play. Jeff Francis trying to find a spot on this roster. And Delman Young shoots one into right. That's Caleb Gendel in right field, as Bautista has been given the rest of this game off. Delman Young, he will leave in favor of the pinch runner as well.
Number 85, Brendan Webb. For the defensive Chiefs, the Blue Jays, Josh Tolle is the new catcher. Right fielder, number 79, Dario Alvarez.
Pinch runner is Brendan Webb at first base, taking over for Delman Young. This is the right fielder, Dario Alvarez. It's a 1-1 ball game. Orioles scored a run in the third off Mark Burley. Jimmy Paredes drove it in with a double. That's good curveball. Good spin, great speed, and terrific arm action.
He's been around. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to set up hitters right there. I think that curveball can play. Trying to make the team out of the bullpen.
Into center field under the glove of Devin Travis. Alvarez has his second hit of the afternoon.
Single to center field, his first time up. And then after that curveball, he throws a fastball about belt high, and he sends it right back through the middle.
First and second, one out. Blue Jays got a double play to end the seventh inning. Jeff Francis can throw that curveball for a strike just about any time he wants to. Jeff Francis has 240 major league games on his resume, made 217 career starts. Had shoulder issues in Colorado. He was one of their star pitchers in Colorado. He had double-digit win seasons in 2005, 2006, and a career-high 17 wins in 2007.
He didn't have time to unpack his bags last year, did he?
All over the place.
Pitching for 3 different teams.
Cincinnati, Oakland, and New York Yankees. 2-1, 1 out. Steve Clevenger, the catcher. Clevenger, left-handed hitters, had to face nothing but left-handed pitching today.
That's all we've seen. Burley, Luke Cecil, and now Jeff Francis and Clevenger. He got a hit to left field his first time up, and then was robbed of a hit by the shortstop, Jose Reyes. So you got to figure he's trying to shoot that ball the other way now with 2 strikes.
Hey, throw him out if he goes.
Full count, 1 out. Clevenger shoots this to left. That's Ryan Goins out in left field. He makes the catch. So Goins has gotten a couple of opportunities in the outfield in an effort to prove that he can serve as that utility man.
I think that's very interesting to watch that, and it's very important for him to handle that position. He's a good athlete. We were talking the other day about the athletes that the Blue Jays have brought on board over the last couple of seasons, and it looks like They're thinking about Ryan Goings as one of those super utility type of infielders, outfielders. Play shortstop, play second base, play some of the outfield if you have to. Hey, whatever it takes, right, to make the ball club.
Steve Tollison can do the same thing, and it's going to be interesting to see how that final 25-man roster shapes up. We have been told, John Gibbons suggesting that he's going to make the announcement on Tuesday to identify the 25-man roster.
Blue Jays have a night game tomorrow down in Kissimmee. And then right back here on Tuesday to face the Phillies. And that's when Gibby said he'll most likely end up giving you their 25-man roster.
The breaking ball is fouled off. Ray Navarro, who came in the game as a defensive replacement, got a piece of that breaking ball. Well, that's a tough time for a manager. Yeah, you want to get to the regular season, but before you can do that, you've got to deliver some bad news to some players.
Yeah, tough time for everybody, really. Tough for the front office. Tough on the players.
You just don't know. You let somebody go, and for the players that are out of options, there's the possibility of ending up in another organization.
How many times have you seen it where the final 25, the last guy or the last couple guys, they aren't even in camp right now. They could be in other organizations, and they are let go by other organizations and are claimed by the Blue Jays.
Yeah, we just mentioned the Blue Jays made a claim off of the Chicago White Sox roster. Navarro gets a piece of that breaking ball. Blue Jays claimed a 26-year-old first baseman, Andy Wilkins, from the White Sox AAA club, and they have sent him to Buffalo.
White Sox claimed Kyle Drabek a couple of days ago, and Blue Jays turn around and get a White Sox player in return.
Another 0-2 pitch. Jeff Francis working with 2 outs. That ball gets away from Tolle, and the runners are going to move up. So now runners at second and third with 2 outs. It's a 1-1 game. We're in the 8th inning.
Josh did a good job in the first batter here. We blocked the ball for strike 3. This time, ball ricochets off his chest protector. Just couldn't corral that one.
There's that curveball, and Tolle, I'm not sure where he got hit, but he wasn't able to hold on to it. That ball, obviously a foul tip, and the hitter stays alive.
Big curveball. Navarro has come up empty in this at bat against that curveball, so he goes back for it. And he just fouled it right over his glove. Right pitch at the right time. They just couldn't come up with that foul tip.
1-2, 2 outs. Jeff Francis trying to strand a pair of base runners here in the 8th. Foul back out of play. Navarro is putting up a battle. You would just think now if Francis could elevate a pitch, he might get a pop-up or a strikeout. Navarro is really focused on balls down in the zone. Just change his eye level a bit here.
And he's probably thinking breaking ball. He has been struggling with that pitch.
There's the pop-up into right. This is trouble. Long run for everybody, and it's going to drop, and 2 runs are going to score. What an at-bat for Ray Navarro as he battles Jeff Francis and fights off a high pitch and flares it into right for a 2-run single.
You know what? He just could not get the ball up high enough to get him to swing and miss. Watch where it is. It's the right call. Fastball up, but it's just not up high enough. You want to get that one a little bit more. Change that eye plane. It catches enough of the strike zone, and he just dumps it right in between 3 people in the outfield.
So the Orioles now have a 3-1 lead. That's their 11th hit of the afternoon. This is the first baseman, Chris Parmelee. He's been in the ball game all afternoon. He has a couple of hits and was robbed of his third hit. Navarro picked off. He's in a rundown. They bounced the first throw. They better hurry up. And Jonathan Diaz, the shortstop, made a heck of a play to stay with that throw. Put the tag on Navarro. The inning is over, but the Orioles have taken the lead here in the eighth.
Fans, you'll want to circle Sunday, April 19th on your calendar. Blue Jays take on the Braves at 1:07 that afternoon, and for the first 20,000 fans, you will receive a Jose Bautista bobblehead. Be sure to get there early because they will go fast. For tickets, call 416-341-1234 or BlueJays.com. And Buck Tabby, you've seen the lineups outside Rogers Center on those bobblehead days. Fans get there at the crack of dawn.
Yeah, they sure do. Only 20,000 of those bobbleheads will be given away, so make sure you get there early and line up. That's Sunday, April 19th. The Atlanta Braves are in town. Blue Jays will then have an off day on Monday before they finish up against these same Baltimore Orioles, a 3-game set to finish up that long first homestand of the schedule. This is Jonathan Diaz, and boy, what a play he made at second base to end the inning. He took that throw right in the path of the base runner and was able to put the tag on him to end the inning.
They almost messed up that rundown.
It's off the end of the bat. Ray Navarro, the second baseman, throws him out, one down.
They were making too many long throws with that runner when he got picked off at first base. Somebody's got to get him running and close the gap so the throws are a little bit shorter, but Diaz stayed right with that throw. Stayed in the runner, made the catch, and tagged on all in one motion.
This is Josh Tolley, took over for Russell Martin. Martin on the afternoon went 0 for 2 with a walk. And Tolley's got to be thinking, every time I come into the game, there's a left-handed pitcher on the mound. I can't catch a break.
He said that thing to me today around the batting cage. He faced the tough lefty yesterday and scratched out a base hit. That was against Wood, Alex Wood, the starter. He said, okay, now we're going to go to the bullpen, and we'll probably bring in some minor league guy. I'll get to face him in the middle innings, and they brought in Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
And the at-bat, if you remember it, he battled his way to 3-2, and Kimbrell threw him a 3-2 breaking ball.
Hey, he gets a base hit here against the lefty, stayed on that pitch, and serves it into center field. Josh Tolley with a hit in his first at-bat.
Whole key for a left-handed batter against a tough left-handed pitcher with a good curveball. Keep that front shoulder in. And that's exactly what Josh does. He's been scratching out his hits this spring, doing what it takes. That's a pretty good swing right there against a tough lefty.
For Tolley, that's his 8th hit of the spring. This is Caleb Gindel. Gendel early on was tearing it up. He really got off to a great start. He's had a good spring. He's got 15 hits in 42 at-bats. That's a .357 average. This is his first spring with the Blue Jays. He spent parts of last 2 seasons in the big leagues with the Brewers. Ball on the strike, 1 out. Now it's 1-2. Blue Jays and the Orioles set to battle again in the American League East. The Orioles won the season series a year ago, 11-8. These two teams are going to play 9 times early in the season. The first 7 weeks of the season, they'll hook up a lot.
Yeah, we go to Baltimore to start the season after New York. We go to Baltimore. And then we're back there the second week of May. And then we're not there till the end of the season, the last road trip of the year.
There's a little flare that's going to slice foul down the left side. Well, the Orioles had kind of a funny season. They got off to a .500 start, and they were .500 right up to the end of May. And then they really caught fire. In the second half of the season, they separated themselves from the rest of the pack. You'll remember the Blue Jays were in first place until July.
Their pitching really came together about the middle of the season and then all the way through.
Good breaking ball, and Gendel strikes out. That's the first strikeout for T.J. McFarland. This is his second inning of work.
That's a breaking ball down and away. You can see that front side, the difference between Josh Toley's base hit and this strikeout right here. That front shoulder opened up just a little bit too much. When McFarland's on, he's got that sinker curveball working nicely. He stays down in the strike zone. One of the favorites of Buck Showalter.
This is Justin Smoke, who took over defensively at first base, and he goes after that first pitch. Smoke's starting to swing the bat well here at the end of the spring. He was 1 for 4 yesterday against the Pirates down in Bradenton.
Homered the other day in Detroit versus Detroit. He's been a little bit more aggressive at the plate. He has been in swing mode, which is his game, I think. He's got the size to be able to knock the ball out of the ballpark.
He's 6'4", weighs 230. He's a switch hitter. He was a former #1 pick of the Texas Rangers. He's had home run seasons of 15, 19, and 20 while playing with the Mariners.
That's a good swing right there. That's a good aggressive swing, attacking the ball.
But Brooke Jacoby told him the other day about trying to get something going.
Say, hey, get the ball up into the air. You've got power. I don't want you to be in between. I want you to see that ball, and I want you to be aggressive. Swing until your eyes tell you it's a ball.
Sharply hit, but at the third baseman, Paredes drops it. Giannis is right there behind him, and the bobble at first. Chris Parmalee has played well over at first base. He's going to discuss it with the first base umpire. That is James Hoy, who has moved over to first base. He explained, hey, you were bobbling that baseball. You didn't have a real good grip on the baseball, and the shortstop picks it up. It's scooped, and you can see, indeed, he's bobbling that baseball. Good call by the umpire.
Look at Tim Leeper, the first base coach behind him. That ball was not secure in the glove. Heads up play by Giannis, the shortstop, to back up that ball that was hit off the Paredes' glove. Comes up throwing, and Parmalee, you're right, on that replay, showed that the ball was not secure within the webbing in the pocket of that glove, so it'll go as an error.
Ron Johnson, the acting manager, went out to support his first baseman a bit. He returns to the dugout now. It's an error on the third baseman, Paredes, who booted it initially. Giannis made it close at first, and this is Munenori Kawasaki. Kawasaki batting in the 5th spot. Took over at third base for Josh Donaldson. Donaldson had a home run this afternoon, accounting for the only Blue Jays run. Kawasaki for the spring batting an even 300, 6 for 20. Got a pair of RBIs. Very tentative swing. He goes around. He's quickly behind 0-2. Kawasaki got a piece of it to stay alive. Orioles lead at 3-1. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Mark Burley started for the Blue Jays. He had a good outing, went 5 innings, scattered 7 hits over those 5 innings, and allowed a run. Didn't walk a batter and struck out 4. He was followed by Luke, Cecil, and Francis. T.J. McFarland is in relief of Ubaldo Jimenez, who went 6 innings. He too, like Burley, was good. Jimenez goes 6 innings, 1 run on 5 hits. He walked a batter and struck out 3, and he's had 2 good outings back-to-back now.
Yeah, the last time out he did a good job for Baltimore, pitching deep in. He got off to a rough start this spring, but now he seems to be getting it together. It's actually 3 good ones in a row now for him.
Broken back. That's going to drop for a base hit. They're going to stop Tolle at third. Kawasaki got sawed off and flares it into right to keep the inning alive.
Yeah, he looked so bad on those first 2 pitches, and then McFarland just could not finish him off. He buzzes that fastball in on his hands. But Kawasaki's always given that good effort. He's going to battle you all the way to the end. This time that bat shatters and explodes in his hand. And he just drops it in the outfield. 2 outs, runners are running on contact, but they can't score because it's not hit that deep. And now, with the bases loaded, Blue Jays are going to send a pinch hitter up there with some power.
Yan Viciedo is batting for the DH, Gianna Navarro. Viciedo, a right-handed bat with some pop. And that's what you want coming off the bench. Let it fly. He goes after the first pitch.
Yeah, he will let it fly. He starts swinging when he's on the on-deck circle. McFarland throws the ball out of the strike zone. He can't hold up on it. He's an aggressive hitter.
He hasn't pinch hit a lot in his career. His 20 pinch hit at bats. He was a regular left fielder for the White Sox.
You know, the whole key to pinch hitting, get a pitch that you could hit and be aggressive. I like that he swung as hard as he could on that first pitch.
Ball on the strike. Another good cut. Fouled off the glove of the catcher. Viciedo spent parts of 5 seasons with the White Sox. Had a career high 25 home runs in 2012. Last year he had 21 home runs in 523 at-bats. He's a non-roster invitee to camp. Stays on that breaking ball and stays alive.
Don't get cheated. He too is trying to make this team as an extra player.
Has interesting splits. A year ago, he had 221 against lefty pitching, opposed to 235 against right-handers. For his career, he is better against lefties than righties. Off the glove of the catcher, but not far enough for Tolley to come home. Two balls and two strikes. Orioles lead at 3-1. We're in the bottom of the 8th.
This is the pitch right here that McFarland wants to get him out of. He doesn't want to run at the 3-2.
Came right after him, and Viciedo fouls it back.
Viciedo's been around long enough to know that he's going to be aggressive on that 2-2 pitch. Challenged him with a heater.
Over the course of his career, Viciedo's hit .291 against lefty pitching. Last year was the exceptional year. He had an off year batting against the Southpaws. He has a .240 career average against right-handed pitching. Off-speed pitch. He gets a piece of it to stay alive. Viciedo didn't sign until the 28th of February with the Blue Jays. And he was hampered early on. He had a little foot infection that kept him out of action for a while in the early stages of spring training.
He was released, wasn't he, by the White Sox? And the Blue Jays picked him up.
He was released the 4th of February. White Sox and Blue Jays have had a lot of transactions lately. This is bounced up the middle. Yanis bobbles it. By the time he recovers, it's late. And here's the second run coming to the plate. And Smoke is going to be tagged out. Blue Jays get a run as Yanis bobbled it at second. It's a one-run game as we head to the 9th. We are back in Florida. This is the final spring training game from Florida. It's been a great spring. The Blue Jays have played well all spring long. The weather's been pretty good for the most part. And it'll always be a little sad when you leave spring training. There's a lot to do here in this Dunedin area. A lot of Canadian fans have come down to enjoy the sunshine and get up close to the Blue Jays. And it's coming to an end. This will be our last TV broadcast. The Blue Jays will play here on Tuesday again. And then they will break camp on Thursday the 2nd. And the new pitcher into the ballgame is Brady Dragmeyer. He's from the great state of California. He's from Sacramento, California. And he's from Elk Grove, where I went to high school.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You should know all about this guy.
He was a 17th round pick in 2011. He was a little bit behind me. Oh, man. Parmalee has had some day. Jumps on the first pitch and hits it deep over the wall in right. Chris Parmalee with his third hit. He's hit the ball hard 4 times this afternoon.
And how about the defense that he has been playing over at first base?
He's had quite an afternoon for the Orioles, and Parmalee gets that run back quickly on the first pitch of the top of the ninth.
Sitting and waiting. First pitch, fastball, belt high. And they get that run back with one swing.
Paul Janisch has had a good day as well in the field. He's 0 for 3 at the plate. The Orioles are all about defense, and they will get some defenders. Buck Showalter insists upon playing good defense, and it has really helped out their pitching staff. And an off-speed pitch for a strikeout, and Bednar strikes out Janisch. 1 down. When you look at the Orioles rotation, I would suggest they're a host of number 3s. This is an off-speed pitch, might have been a changeup. Bounced off the plate. Dragmeyer takes his time, and after that leadoff home run, he's got 2 quick outs. Pretty good sink on that fastball.
Yeah, that's what it looks like he is built for right there. Sinker.
But you look at the Orioles rotation: Tillman, Chen, Norris, Gonzalez, Gausman, and possibly Ubaldo Jimenez into the mix as well. And, you know, Tillman's been a good pitcher, but, you know, he's not what you would consider an ace type of pitcher. And we've talked about this before. I don't think there's an ace in the East.
Boy, they've been leaving in bunches, haven't they, over the last couple of years? David Price, he's now in the Central. John Lester.
James Shields.
When he was with Tampa.
Look at Jonathan Diaz picking it short. Oh, what a good play by Diaz. He takes the short hop to end the inning. Blue Jays down by 2 as we head to the bottom of the ninth. Brought to you by Scott's Weed Be Gone. This spring, knock weeds out of your park with Scott's Weed Be Gone. Kills weeds, not lawns.
I think we're going to enjoy watching this man hit all summer long. This is Josh Donaldson back at the 4th inning against Ubaldo Jimenez, tomahawking that high pitch from Jimenez out of the ballpark, over the trees here in Dunedin. Blue Jays, their only run until the 8th inning, courtesy of our play of the game.
Your pitcher for the Orioles is Chaz Rowe. Those are his numbers from a year ago in AAA, 3-3. Orioles have had good pitching, and then has started TJ McFarland with a couple good innings. Now Chaz Rowe. Rowe has had time in the big leagues with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he got into 3 games last year with the Yankees. Bouncing ball. Tricky hop for Navarro. He handles it perfectly. 1 down. Ryan Goins, in his only at bat this afternoon, grounds out. Burrell is 6'5". As we mentioned, a total of 24 games in the major leagues over 2013 and 2014.
He was pitched with Miami, the Yankees. Got a good sinker. That was on display right there on that ground out.
Kevin Pillar 1 for 3 this afternoon. A couple of ground outs and a single. Kevin's had a good spring, interrupted by a slight oblique strain. Missed about a week's worth of activity.
He didn't lose anything. He came back down in Sarasota. He went deep.
And a home run against the Orioles, Wei-Yin Chen, in his return to the lineup. I look for him to have a good year. I think he understands who he is now. He's been a little more selective after making some adjustments and just recognizing that you have to be patient and get a good pitch to hit.
And I think a lot of it is just feeling comfortable about your surroundings and being on the ball club and feeling comfortable playing in the major leagues. It can be overwhelming for young players when they get up here.
Well, first of all, you want to prove that you're worthy of playing in the big leagues, and you think you're going to get 4 hits and 3 at-bats, and that never works. And you certainly have to hit strikes. It's tough enough to hit when you're swinging at strikes, but it's impossible when you chase balls. Little looper off the end of the bat. Navarro retreats into the outfield and makes the catch. 2 quick outs here in the ninth. So the last hope for the Blue Jays, Devin Travis, who's been in this game all afternoon. He'll get his 4th plate appearance. Travis, 2 more hits today. He's got 19 hits this spring.
He was robbed of a hit too, wasn't he?
Hot shot turned into a double play in the 7th. He hit it to the shortstop, Paul Yanish, who played it off to the side and turned it into a double play.
Blue Jays looked like they were going to get themselves a run. Yanish turned a hot shot screamer into an inning-ending double play.
Travis leads the Blue Jays with 19 hits. Pretty good spring for a rookie. His first spring with the Blue Jays. Played in Double-A with the Tigers last year and was acquired in the trade that sent Anthony Ghost to Detroit. And both of those players have enjoyed good springs.
Good springs. Ghost has had a great spring for Detroit.
This is popped up. This should do it. Parmalee, he's had quite a day in the field and at the plate, and the Orioles win it 4-2. They out-hit the Blue Jays 12-10.
And that was fitting, wasn't it? Parmalee had a great day with the bat, with the glove. Pop-up ends this one right here. Good pitching by the Orioles. And just enough hitting as they win this one 4-2.
They win it 4-2. They'll be back at it tomorrow, and that's all we have from the booth. Let's go down to Barry Davis.
We will be back on the air Friday. The Blue Jays in Montreal to face the Cincinnati Reds. It's the first of 2. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock Eastern with Hazel May and Sportsnet Central. 6:30 for Blue Jays Central with Jamie and Greg, and then join Buck, Pat, and yours truly for all the action from the Big O in Montreal. And that'll do it for us in Florida. Have yourselves a great day. Thanks so much for watching.